As much as this channel is focused around climbing, I wanted to take a moment to share a clip from the 2005 Augusta Nationals Masters Championship for golf. I know a lot of you want to turn away right now once you heard the word golf, but stick with me, it'll all make sense. With all stereotypes of golf being a boring sport, that clip actually was pretty boring. It's because I made a little audio edit to it. Watch it again unedited.
Well, here it comes. Oh my goodness.
How much more impactful was that? It feels exciting. You feel for Tiger Woods in that clip. You end up feeling almost as excited as he is for that shot. Now, I contrast the importance of having an audience cheering because very recently from March 14th through March 15th, there was a climbing competition that was closed off to the public and was only open to officials and competitors. That means there was no crowd and no reactions like from the clip of Tiger Woods. That competition, the QIF 2020, or the Climbing Works International Festival in Sheffield, United Kingdom, was a great competition that was entirely online streamed and closed off. I was able to get some insight on how the competition was ran and how it felt like competing in it by UKClimbing's editor-in-chief, Natalie Berry.
Hi Albert, yeah, I'm Natalie Berry. I'm editor-in-chief of UKClimbing.com, and I'm also a former Team GB competition climber. I've competed since the age of about 9 or 10, so quite a long time ago now. So I've got quite a lot of years of experience of competing as a junior, and then I did some competitions at senior level, but in recent years I've been focusing on work and kind of dipping in and out of competitions and climbing on rock.
So recently you were actually at QIF, and you did really awesome. In fact, there was a comment in the chat box by Louis Parkinson that you levitated on one of the blocks. That was incredible, by the way. I just have to compliment you on that. And it was a closed event, correct?
Yeah, so no spectators were allowed.
Yeah.
Just competitors, judges, route setters, just a very select group of people.
I did hear a few cheers in the background. Were that just like the officials and people there already?
Yeah. Officials, some other competitors in the finals, who had been present in the gym for the semi-finals, route setters, judges, and also the funniest thing about the competition was they had fake crowds, like fake queues.
Wait, is there a picture of that? I want to see that.
Yeah, there's put on the live stream, but basically what happened was we were in isolation, which is in a separate building, and then we walked out, sat down in the chairs before we were about to climb, and we heard all this noise and like applause, and you could see out the corner of our eye that there weren't many people, and it just didn't seem right. And then we realized that the DJ and the mixer was playing like recorded cheers from like a rock concert or something.
No way.
So it was really cool. It was actually quite effective. Like I think that definitely helped. Like without that, it would have been quite a weird atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. I've personally competed in a few competitions myself, and I really strive off of the crowd's energy. And I wonder, you did have a little bit of artificial noise, but how was it competing for you? Was it weird? What did it feel like?
It was a bit weird because I think I do maybe more than some other competitors try and keep an ear open and try and listen to how the crowd are responding to what you're doing. Like if you reach a bonus hold, or if you're trying to move a certain way and the crowd seems really behind you, like sometimes you can get the impression that that's the right thing to be doing. You can feel wrong, but you keep trying, or you try something else, you change up your beta. So this time without that kind of natural, sometimes when people were topping out, they were like turning up the applause and making the cheering louder. So you can sometimes tell like how people are doing by what the commentator's saying, because Percy Bushton was commentating, so that gave us a kind of slight insight as to what was happening. But yeah, I think it was a bit harder to gauge how you were doing, so I felt a bit kind of uncertain a lot of the time as to how I had no idea when I finished where I placed, and yeah, that was definitely a bit unusual.
Quiff did an amazing job at accommodating for the athletes and creating an atmosphere of a crowd by playing the recorded audio, even switching the audience to American cheers when the American competitors and Olympians Nathaniel Coleman and Brooke Rabbitou came out. But the impact of a live crowd is extremely important, especially in climbing. As Natalie said, sometimes you can get clues from the crowd if you've hit the high point on a lead route, if you're onto the right sequence, or knowing where other competitors are at. But aside getting clues and creating the atmosphere for competitions, there might even be an impact on performance based off of crowds. During a 2017 study researching the effects of a supportive audience on a hand grip squeezing task in adults, the participants were split into two different groups where they were required to use a hand dynamometer, an instrument used to measure grip strength and patience. This study is incredibly topical since one group was given praise such as, "You look strong, A+ for you," and "fantastic," and the other group was not given any praise. The group that was given praise remained on task longer than those performing the task with no audience present. Similar performance gains in the presence of others were also shown in strength and endurance tasks. It's no surprise that when there is an audience present and cheering, often you end up trying harder, which is why if you ever watch climbing videos, you'll hear,
Allez. Strong, come on.
The cheering often can actually help the climber, at least subconsciously. Now, during the time that this video is published, pretty much every major climbing competition has been cancelled or postponed, which as such an avid climbing fan is heartbreaking. Is it possible to host more comps that are closed to the public in the future? Quiff 2020 took great strides to make their competition happen safely for competitors and spectators. Their efforts were great and ingenious, and proved that people will tune in to watch. So, short answer, yes. But I hope that in the near future we'll be able to bring back the crowds and feel the spirit of the audience again soon. I think that I speak for a lot of competitors that during big moments in their careers, often a very memorable part is the audience. But don't take it from me. Listen to what Natalie Berry had to say during her 2007 European Youth Series victory.
Definitely. I remember, I think especially in lead climbing, because there's a really obvious high point. So start cheering as soon as you get close to the high point, you can generally get a really good sense as to how well or how badly you're doing. So once I kind of got onto the head wall, I was nearing the top, I knew that I'd probably surpassed the high point. And then it's also, not just while you're on the wall, but after you come off as well, and people are clapping. Like in the Quiff, that was a bit different. You didn't really get much applause when you topped out.
I think that if there's anything to take away from this video is that you, the community, matters. We as a whole are the driving force that make accomplishments memorable and great moments historic. So cheer on your friends, cheer on the athletes, and appreciate the cheering you receive because you matter. Hey everyone, first and foremost, I wanted to give a huge thank you to Natalie Berry who agreed to be a part of this video. Go check out her articles at UKClimbing, and I'll link her Instagram down below as well. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and also comment down below a time when you remember people cheering you on. A new episode of Beta Break is coming out next week with a shorter female climber to mix things up. I hope all of you are staying healthy and strong during this tumultuous time, which I know we'll all get through in time. And soon we'll be back to crushing. Thank you for watching.